What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best Umbral Blades Falconer build in last Epoch Season 2. So in this guide I will give you a quick overview of the setup, then I will explain what skills and upgrades should you focus on, then as well we'll see what is the best gear and how to get it for the endgame. And then finally we will go over the passive tree, stats, your skill rotations, and even what idols and blessings should you use, so we would be able to get the highest damage possible and much more. This is a powerful assassin whose main playstyle is to command the falcon, to dive down from the skies and unleash the umbral blades, which are deadly throwing attacks that erupt into massive cold explosions that destroy enemies in seconds. We'll glide effortlessly across the battlefield with this powerful setup, because we will maximize the Twilight Strike passive within the aerial assault skill. Also, with the cooldown reduction provided by the free-floating bird node, you can unleash explosive trap repeatedly, which creates a seamless loop between the dive bomb and aerial assault. And on top of this, we'll also go with the smoke bomb, as it is a mobility tool and a source of shadows. While this build doesn't depend on uniques to operate efficiently, its peak performance revolves around the Razorfall boots. The Talents of Valor also offer excellent synergy, granting even more cooldown reduction. And other standout gear includes the Elos of Abundance, Lyraka's Gloves, Unscented Sphere, Brewmaster's Buckle, and the Peak of the Mountain, which are all great additions to boost our DPS power to its full potential. So let's start off with our skills, and we are going to be using the Explosive Trap by combining the Static Mines, Trappist, and the Cold Snap Mines, so you can launch 3 explosive traps simultaneously, maximizing the cooldown reduction granted by the free-floating bird. This synergy will let you rapidly cycle through the dive bomb and aerial assault with ease. The more traps you deploy, the faster your stacks will buff and trigger the smoke trap, which will ensure a steady supply of dusk shrouds. Then second, we go with the aerial assault skill, which is a very powerful trigger for unleashing a flurry of umbral blades through the Twilight Strike node, especially after acquiring the Razorfall. To keep your mana in check, refreshing the resolve plays a crucial role. Meanwhile, Domain of the Huntress will offer a hefty boost to dodge, which will greatly enhance your survivability as you remain within the protective zone of the fearsome. Then next we're using the Smoke Bomb skill, that offers excellent utility and significantly boosts our DPS in this setup. We wanna use it to spawn the shadows, which can then be targeted by an on-wing shadow node in the dive bomb. Picking up Shrouded in the Darkness will help you to generate dusk shrouds consistently, but be sure to invest in the Moonlight and the Cleansing Steam as well, so we would get these valuable silver shrouds and reliable element cleansing. Then next we got the Umbral Blades. Even though you won't be casting falconry directly, it will still need to stay on your action bar to enable the aerial assault and dive bomb. So Umbral Blades is our cure damage ability, and its effectiveness will scale heavily with the Dusk Shrouds, which is powered by the Edge of the Obscurity node. Also, we will want to grab the Umbral Remnant to automatically spawn the Umbral Blades whenever a shadow fades, and by doing this, it will add even more consistent damage to our DPS rotation. And then finally, we're using the Dive Bomb, that serves as your primary method for generating Dusk Shrouds, especially with the help of the Flock of the Crows. Nodes like the on-wing shadows and the dancing shadows will work seamlessly with your shadows by creating a smooth synergy. Then also, rushing wings will accelerate the process significantly, plus you will gain solid buffs and utility from the nodes like the Talon's Blades, Cloud Gathered, and the Rapid Pursuit, which makes your build even more efficient. Next up we got the passive tree, and this is how it should look like in the rogue category. We mainly went with nodes that gives us attack speed, more health and dexterity, then even dodge rating and haste on hit chance. Then next we got our marksman category, with things that gives us more dexterity and dodge rating debuffing, then more damage with concentration, then also more dodge rating and increased movement speed. Then also we want to go with the Blade Dancer just for this one node, that gives us more dexterity and increased glancing blow chance. And then finally we are also heavily investing into the Falconer category, with all of these points allocated like this. So we want to go big on increased health and dodge rating, then chance to gain haste, more damage increase, added throwing damage, increased crit chance and multipliers, as well as health gain on kill. Next up we also got the Weaver tree, and I'm still experimenting so it's not fully done, but for right now this is the most optimal way to build it for pretty much most of the builds. So we start here, then go like this, then pretty much keep making this type of circle, and then end it at around this point. To make the most out of the Weaver Will, we want to aim for items with a higher Weaver Will, which is closer to 25 to maximize potential upgrades. Also, what at least I like to do is run level 100 zones to increase the chance of finding the Weaver's Will item. Then also focus on the monolith timelines with unique echo rewards for the item type you desire. And lastly, you could also increase the timeline corruption to enhance the reward quality even further. But overall, this Weaver tree will offer an alternative path to enhancing unique items, which will allow you to grow stronger by doing specific endgame content. Next up we got idols, and this is how it should look like. So we're using one unique adorned silver idol, called the Throne of the Ambition, that is size 2x2. And gives us a stack ambitions when we hit enemies. Then also we gain more percentage of fire, cold and armor per stack, as well as our ambition stacks get increased to 20. Then next we want 4 heretical large shadow idols with a size 1x3, and with modifiers like the dodge rating, increase health, increase damage while wielding a bow, increase critical strike chance and multipliers, and then also a chance to receive a glancing bow, and increased even more dodge rating. Next we got one size 1x2 stout weaver idol, with modifiers like the health gain on kill, increase health and fire resistance. While lastly we got the last 2 small weaver idols that are size 1x1, with modifiers like the dodge rating and physical resistance. Next up we got our blessing setup, and this is how it should look like. So we want to go with the Grand Emptiness of Ash that gives us critical strike multiplier. Then second, take the Grand Light of the Moon with more mana. Then next, get the Grand Survival of the Might with a critical strike avoidance and dodge rating. Next up, get the Grand Bulwark of the Tundra with increased armor. And lastly, go with the Grand Body of Obsidian with more armor. Next we have our equipment, and for the head we're using the Peak Mountain with armor, dexterity, health, increased health and increased critical strike chance. This is a really good helmet because it gives us bunch of stats and tons of percentages. Then for amulet we're going with the Night Heals that has modifiers like increased health and mana, more throwing damage, more levels of all skills and more to all resistances. Then for weapon we're going with the Talents of the Valor bow that has bow damage, critical strike multiplier, increased critical strike chance and more levels to most of our skills. This is an amazing weapon that pretty much makes the build work to its full potential, so I recommend to try to get it as soon as possible, as its crit chance and extra bow attack speeds are insane. Then for chest armor, we take the Elosis Abandoned with the armor, increased dodge rating, increased damage over time, more dexterity and increased health. Then for offhand, we go with the Spider Silk Quiver with a chance to apply slow on a hit, more damage to slowed enemies, increased cold damage and more dexterity. Then for rings we go the same two, which are the red rings of the Altaria with increased movement speed, more throwing damage, more to all attributes, more to all resistances and increased health, mana and dodge rating. And these are still viable even if you don't meet the 180 attribute requirement. Then for belt we go the Brewmaster Buckle with armor, potion slots, health, vitality and more endurance. This is great for powerful stats, and to farm it, at least I recommend to go into the brand brewery of the Vaven Echoes. Then for gloves we go the Licorice class with armor, endurance, throwing damage and more dexterity. Then for boots we go the Razorfall with armor, increased movement speed, increased effect of haste and more dexterity. And lastly we got the Eucanius Sphere with increased cold and lightning damage, throwing damage, dexterity and more to cold and lightning resistance. So overall, this is the best case scenario setup, which should be more of an example of what stats and modifiers to look for. But no matter what you have, just try to build around getting as much dexterity as possible to scale the Razorfall. And now finally we've come to the gameplay, and I will show you 2 rotations. So one for general AoV farming and the other one for single target slash against bosses. So first up we got our AoV rotation, and for this one we want to start our fights by continuously throwing the explosive chaps at the enemies to build up offensive buffs and reduce our cooldowns. Then use the smoke bomb to generate shadows, which are triggered on wings of the shadows. Then also keep on using the dive bomb and aerial assault for constant rotation. And lastly, we can finish it off by unleashing the umbral blades, or barrage of explosions across the battlefield. And then second of all we got bossing, which to be honest I've already covered a little bit in the first rotation. But to basically summarize it, then this time we want to start fights by throwing the shadows created by the smoke bomb close to the boss to ensure that all 4 Shadow Falcons from our Wings on Shadows will hit their mark with the full effect. Then stay within the smoke bomb and the feathersome zones to maximize your survivability with the buffs they offer. And finally, make sure to keep an evade charge reserved to avoid crucial boss mechanics. But besides that, just keep spamming explosive chap and see enemies melt in seconds. So let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you definitely don't want to miss my previous top 3 best builds video, where I showed even more powerful builds. So click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.